Welcome students to our practical session of our Stride course Geoinformatics, in which we are learning about ArcGIS software. In our previous session, we have studied about use of symbology in creating maps. We have also discussed about attribute, feature relationship, and its importance. Today, in this session, we are going to create our own database. This is very important session with respect to the ArcGIS software. In this session, we are going to discuss about the creating of maps, as well as creating of layers of feature classes that we are going to see in our video.
To our next session of our practical course in Stride Geoinformatics. Today in this session we are going to learn about how to create our own database. For example, if you are doing a dissertation project or your research work, and if you want to create your own database and show different types of maps or prepare different types of maps, for that this video will be very important for you. So in this video, we will be learning how to create your own database, how to create your own maps and different types of layers depending upon your geographical entities. So let's begin our session. See, the very important aspect is that before starting your or before creating our own database, first of all we have to create our one folder in either of the drive. For example, today I have created our folder in D drive and I have given a name as a stride and stride lecture folder. So in the same manner, you can also create your own folder of your research, and in that folder only we have to save each and every files which we create in ArcGIS. So what happens? There is no issue of linking. Otherwise, if you do not save the your data into a typical file format, it will get disturbed and there will be a error. So the first thing which we have to keep in mind is that before starting your own database, we have to create a data folder. So once you have created your data folder, then it is important for us to connect our folder into ArcGIS. And for that, what we have to do, as I have discussed before, that we have to go into catalog. So once we enter into catalog, we have to link our folder into a software. So for that, we have to click on connect to folder, and see, from connect to folder I am giving the path of our folder which I have created for creating this database. So I will be go on that folder, and the name was stride lectures. So see, now you can see that this folder is connected into your software. Now second thing is that whatever scan map or hand drawn map, whatever data which we are having about our study area, about our case study, about our project, that has to be saved into that folder so that we can bring it into our software. So this is called inputting of data into our software. Now see, I have one topo sheet which I have already saved into that, is displayed over here. We will talk about this later. Now today's our agenda is how to create a database. For that, what we have to do, after linking our folder into here, we have to create a database management. For that, we have to right click on our folder and we have to choose a new tab over here, and from here we have to select a personal geodatabase for creating a personal geodatabase or a file geodatabase, either you can select. So here I will be clicking on a personal geodatabase or file geodatabase. So I have selected a file geodatabase over here. Now once you select your file geodatabase, it will come under your main folder. You can see right here. Yes, and after clicking that plus button icon, I have seen that it is empty. Now next thing what is required over here is your data set. So the when we are talking about database management is GIS, that is a proper arrangement of data, and data should be also projected. Means we have to use the projection for that. So what I will do after creating a new file geodatabase, I will right click on that file geodatabase and select a new option again. And here you can see that I am having a next step, that is feature data set. So I will choose a feature data set, and here I have to give a name for that feature data set. So depending upon project, we will give a name to that. For example, I will give the name of the place where I am interested. So I have given a name Nasik to my geo data set. Now I have to project this. I have to provide the projection. Now projection is very important in GIS, because once you give the projection, the entire map, the coordinate system of that map will depend upon that projection. So it is very important. For example, if you are working in India, working on the project of India, say Maharashtra or Nasik, that time the projection is different. If we are making a map of European countries, that time the projection is different. So projection differ. Here I will choose uh, a projection based off an area for say Nasik. So in geographic coordinate system, I will go on and select the world, and in world I will select WGS 1984. See, this is the projection we are commonly using for our Indian maps. In geographic coordinate system, we go on the world, and from the world we select WGS 1984 and say next and next and finish. So the projection is given. Now here you can say that your empty folder was having nothing, now it is having a new file geodatabase and a data set called Nasik. Now I will see, is there anything in the data set. Now you can see that your data set is empty. See, data set include your feature classes or layers that we are going to present in our map. So for that set, we have to select our data set, right click on that, and again we have to choose the option new. And from here, we have to select a feature class option. Okay. Now feature class is the option uh, used for creating a layers. For example, if I want to prepare a map of Nasik, in that I have decided to keep various layers. For example, one layer is useful for say road network, another layer I will create for watershed area, one layer for forest area, or you can say agricultural land, settlement. So there are n types of layers which has to be created based on different types of entities. So here, first of all, I will like to prepare a layer for our roads. So I will give a name roads. Now as you know that the roads is a feature which is made up of linear aspect. So for that sake, here we have to select a line feature. So road is a line feature, and then we have to click on next, next, and so on. We have to click finish. We have to wait for some time until the layer appear in our layer of content. Now here you can see that the first layer which we have created for our database, that is road, is appearing over here, and its symbol is in the form of line, that is it is a linear feature. Now next layer, again as I have told you that we have to create a number of layer for this. So next layer which I will be creating, again I have to click on our data set. Here I have to click on new option, go to feature class, and for example now I will give a new name, that is forest. So forest, as you know that it is a polygon, it is an aerial aspect. So here I will not change its entity, I will keep it as a polygon feature. So I have to click on next, next, and so on. Okay. Now you can see that two layers are present, one is for road and another one is for forest. Okay. Now one more layer I want to add here. I will take a point feature. For example, say name of the places, city, or you can say uh, villages, whatever you want to add. For example, now as I am taking the small area, I will click on over here and create a new feature class called as village. Village. Now you know that in the big map, if you want to show a village, it will appear in the form of point feature. So here I will select a point feature for that. Okay. Now the database of our map is ready. One is for village, one is for road in that village, or a forest network. And using the same technique, we can create different types of feature class. For example, one more I will create for you, and we will take it as a water body. Water body. Now water body is also a point feature, polygon feature. Now see that there is an error. Now what does this error tells us? This error tells us that there should be no gap between a name. So if you want to give a name, we should not provide a space over there. If there is a need of the space, that time we can use an underscore over there, water body. Or if there are number of water bodies present, then you can also give the name water bodies over here. Okay, fine. So now you are having a 4 layers which is attached to your map, and we have also created your database called as personal geo database. You can also rename this database. For example, uh, you can give the name of the project to your database, whatever is the name of your project. For example, I will give the name project. So okay, currently it is difficult for you to rename, but once this process is stopped, you can rename it easily. Okay, so in this way we are creating our database, our data set, and also giving projection to the data set and creating different types of layer based on entities such as polygon, line, and point. One more thing I want to add. For example, this is a map. This is the base map which we are considering over here. Okay, now this map, it is showing it is an unknown spatial reference. Now what do you mean by unknown spatial reference? Unknown spatial reference means that this map is not having a coordinates, or it is a plain map, and it has to be geo-referenced before it is uploaded or it is used for making your maps or creating a layers. So it is very important for you to, what you can say, project or georeference the map. That we will be discussing how to georeference in our next session. Now see, this is our map, and in this map we are having n numbers of physical and cultural features which is present. For example, yes, this is an forest area, this is an agricultural land, this red one is nothing but your road. Yes, and green boundary represent your reserve forest area. Just a minute, we will be zooming out this. Okay, so this button is used for zoom out. Also you can create a small rectangle so that the process will be at a faster rate. Now you can see that there are watershed area, there is a settlement, connectivity of road, forest fire. Each and every cultural and physical aspect is present in this topo sheet. So for example, if you want to create your own database and you will consider this as the base of your own database, so what you can do, you can go for editing. You can go for editing. For example, this topo sheet is having a number of information, but this information is not in the digital format. So for making this in the digital format, we have to digitize this topo sheet. And for digitizing this topo sheet, we have to first of all follow all these steps which I have taught in this lecture. And in continuation to that, we have to do the editing. For example, now I have decided to make the village map with the help of this topo sheet. So what will I do? I will create a layer called a village layer. You have to create all this. That is new database, data set, and one layer called village. And if I am also interested in roads, so I will make a 2 layers, one for village and one for roads. And depend how many layers you want to create from this base map. So I will give you a short demo about how to create a digital map with using your scan map. But one important aspect, before creating or before editing, what we have to do, first of all, we have to georeference the topo sheet. So in the next lecture, I will be showing you how to georeference the topo sheet and how to create a digital layer on that. So this was for today, that we have learned how to create a database, how to create a data set, and how to prepare different types of layers.
In our next session, student, we are going to study a very important aspect of RGS software and our cartography, that is geoinformation. Geoinformation. And as well as we are going to study about editing of layers.